So it's 7 in the morning and I'm just waiting for my friend Tori to pick me up, and we're going to go off to what will be my first slaughterhouse vigil. I'm not going to say much now because I really am in two minds about how I feel about people doing this, but whenever I read activists' reasons for going, it does inspire me to go, and I do believe what they're saying, and I think it comes from a place of love and anger, and so I'm just going to go along and document my experience, ask other people their reasoning for coming along. Yeah, I know it's going to be really, really upsetting, and even saying that I feel like it's a really twisted thing to say because, you know, we can come home afterwards, whereas today it's cows. The cows obviously never really had a great home in the first place, and yeah, they're going to be killed, so it feels weird saying it's going to be really upsetting, but yeah, I think I will be crying the whole time, probably, but yeah, okay.
So we're here at Oakhampton in Hatherley, and we're here to bear witness to the cows that are going to be slaughtered here. Our main purpose is normally to check on their welfare, to give them a couple of minutes of comfort and love, and also to just bear witness to them, and to recognise that they're each individuals and that they all have their own personality, and to make the connection for people that consume them that they are living, breathing, sentient beings, and that they have a will to live.
The ultimate aim is to try and stop them for at least a few minutes so we can fulfil what we want to do here. So signs like this, I hope they read them, please allow us 3 minutes to say goodbye to the animals. So if they let us stop, then from what I've heard, you can speak to them, you can just look them in the eyes and just hope they have that connection, that they know that, you know, they're loved by us.
So this is the boundaries of the estate. I mean, just look them in the eye and really ask that question: is this animal's life worth more than your taste? No, it's okay.
There's 3 different types that have come in this morning. There's the beef cows, the meat mums and the spent dairy cows. Majority of it is just beef cows which are 6 months old. Spent dairy cows can be between 6 months, 3 years. Life expectancy on a dairy farm is about 4 years, but they can live to 20 years old. Sometimes they're not getting pregnant anymore, or they've got foot rot, they've got tumours, they've got lesions, and they're not of any use to the industry. So they come here. One of the mums that we saw, she was fully full with milk, so she hasn't been milked this morning. But they've just decided to get rid of her. The beef cows are 6 months old, and the meat mums can be up to about 6 years old, but again, they probably can't get pregnant as easy, so they're not of any use.
It's just really, it makes you feel quite numb. Just so depressing knowing that they're going up there, hundreds and hundreds of them, and there's nothing you can do, and that's just a tiny, tiny percentage of what goes on daily all around, well, around England, all around the world. Yeah. So I've been home for about 2 hours from Oakhampton and the vigil. This morning I thought I'd come home and, immediately record my reaction to the whole experience, but I just got in, and yeah, like I said earlier, I just felt just completely numb and just depleted of everything. I was so flat and yeah, just very depressed. So, and I still feel like that now. I feel like my voice is just meh. But yeah, it was. I am glad that I went, and I've honestly never thought I would go to something like that, especially because I feel like there's no need for it for myself, because I don't eat meat. But when I came in, when I came home, it's a relief to be back in the warm, and you feel so grateful that you have that, option in life to. And then you think of all those animals that we saw and the ones that we didn't see, but God knows how many were in those big lorries and the trucks with the sides done up so you couldn't see inside. Just thinking how many of those animals are now dead, and then thinking how much did they suffer. I think it's safe to say they all suffered to quite a large extent in the whole process. I mean, when they got to the gates, you could see, it's horrible conditions. They were crammed in the small spaces, moving along the motorway. It must be even hard to stand up, the energy it takes of the constant movement around. And then, in the awkward positions, there would have been their excrement all over the floor. It's slippery, it's cold, it's smelly. It's just horrible. It's just absolutely horrendous. I mean, if us as humans, we experience that for 1 minute, it'd be some sort of extreme torture, and you probably never recover from it. It's just absolutely horrendous. But then yet that happens countless times per second in the world, and it's okay. We turn a blind eye to it. We don't see it. To be that close to the slaughterhouse and to have cars drive past, and even to us, when we knew exactly what was going on, you can't actually really tell what's happening behind in the area. We're quite lucky today. There was, I say lucky, it's not to do with being lucky. There was nothing lucky about anything going on there. You couldn't smell anything, you couldn't hear anything. Even the animals, as they went in, they were quiet. I mean, cows, from what I've heard from people who are there today and from my own experience of knowing animal behaviour, they sort of go in on themselves, really. So they become very subdued, and for such large animals, it's just even more just disturbing to see them in that way. And knowing what's coming, it's like, it is as if, they've just sort of just given up, and they're giving into it. I've heard that apparently pigs are a lot more vocal in the whole experience, which I really couldn't handle hearing that. So, I mean, today was a lot less traumatic than I thought it would be, which I feel bad to say, but I was expecting, the noise and the smells and everything, but it's literally like, get them in, drop them off, take them away, that's it, brush under the carpet, that's done, on to the next truck. It's just really, really fucked up. And in light of the Bear Witness campaign, I'm going to say I support it. I do see there were some occasions today where it felt wrong that we were there up against the trailers, but 90% of the time I feel like I did make that connection with one of the animals, and just to have to hear that, you know, that when they smell you and you can feel their warmth from them, and they look at you, they're still inquisitive and they're still trusting, and it's just so heartbreaking that perhaps that, you know, that might have been their only time of their life when they had someone look at them and love them and, you know, say sorry for what humanity is doing to them. So I think for that reason, yeah, I would go to vigil again, just so, you know, in the last half an hour of life, they had someone there who did care about them, and you know, God knows how they get treated by the people when they go in there. And you know, they're sensitive animals; they pick up on everything, like any creature does. You know, we're all affected by any sort of external stimulus. So, yeah, I'm in support of the Bear Witness ethos and campaign, and I would recommend it to anyone who definitely is on the fence about, you know, going vegetarian or going vegan, and also to anyone who is a vegetarian or vegan, just to go to do your bit in that area, and also just to give you some sort of fire to, not that you would need reinforcing on how cool it is, but, you know, yeah, give you a fire to go out and spread your message with more passion. And obviously a lot of people watching these sort of things probably aren't meat eaters themselves, but for the small percentage that do watch these, just please just really think that, just for the sake of something that you put in your mouth which you don't need and you can have substitutes, that whole process of unnecessary cruelty and discomfort and upset, it could have all been avoided. It's just mind-blowing that it still happens to such a large degree. You know, I understand people who say they're massive meat lovers and they couldn't live without bacon, and from the past when I've tried to give up things, you know, after a week it gets better and you find you move on to new things, and your taste buds probably do evolve, and you actually would start craving these new foods, and you're looking forward to making a dinner of, I don't know, carrots. But yeah, you know, any excuse, there is no excuse. There's no argument, there's no reason. It's totally unavoidable, and it's really hard to put it across without getting angry. And, you know, whenever you talk about things like this, as someone who doesn't eat meat, you're always so aware that whatever you say, you could say a single word or a single phrase, and then you've just lost the attention and the respect from the people that you're trying to engage with. So it's really hard. But, you know, those animals that we saw today, seeing them as a whole, and then picturing what they're like down the, you know, the line of, in these packages of meat, or, you know, if you could see it from there going backwards or they're going forward, I don't know which way will be more, show more of an impact, but just really think about it. I hope this makes somebody out there think differently, or just at least go out there and, you know, do more of research of what is available and what truly goes behind the whole process, and what is their meat. You know, meat your meat, that is it. That was it there today. That was your beef burger from McDonald's, that was your prime steak from Waitrose. It's all the same. Even if you think you're buying locally produced, sustainable, organic meat, which is perhaps even claims to be killed humanely, you know, it's all buying into the same thing. It's all the same interests. It's all keeping this going, this human dominance over these animals, and there's no way it can stop. There has to be a clean cut. There can't be exceptions. There can't be loopholes. There is no space for arguments, or without being a preaching vegan, I really hope that somebody's listened and this has changed somebody's opinion. Well, thanks for watching, and I'm going to try and make more videos like this. Not necessarily more vigils, because I feel like next time I don't particularly want to document it. I would rather just focus on what we're doing. and focus on being with the animal in that short space of time, because today was I was filming for this, so yeah. But yeah, I would like to make more videos for the cause in general, and yeah, so stay tuned for them, and thank you for watching.